Om Asmatgurubhyo Namaha.
Asmatgurubhyo Namaha.
Namah Paramarshibhyo
Namah Paramarshibhyo Om Namah Paramarshibhyo Namah Paramarshibhyo
Om
Purnamidam Purnamadaha Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Ishavasya sarvam Yatkincha jagatyam jagat Tena tyaktena bunjithaha Magruddha tasya svidhanam Om Asya panvaya samjatam Narayana padashritam Sriman Narayanam Vande Yatishvara Shriyajusam Krishnam Kamala Patraksham Punyashravana Kirtanam Vasudevam Jagatyonim Naumi Narayanam Harim Krishnaya Yadavendraya Jnanamudraya Yogine Nathaya Rukminishaya Namo Vedanta Vedine Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha Om Asmatgurubhyo Namaha Jai Shri Narayana.
Jai Shri Narayana. Last week, what are the slokas?
36. We started on 36.
Okay. You can see the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 36. Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can go ahead, sir. So
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Sloka 36. Sukam tvidanim trividham srunu me bharatarshabha abhyasatramate yatra dukkhantam cha nigacchati. Jai Sriman Narayana, chapter 18, Sloka 36 summary. Lord Krishna said, "And now, O bull of Bharata race, listen from me. The threefold happiness where one rejoices through continued practice and attains end of misery." Jai Sriman Narayana.
Jai Shri Narayana. Okay. Any questions on this one? Okay. Sloka 37.
I can go ahead.
Sure.
Chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Sloka 37. Yattadagre Vishamiva Pariname Mrutopamam Tassukam Satvikam Proktam Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. Jai Sriman Narayana, chapter 18, Sloka 37 summary. Lord Krishna said, happiness which is like poison at the beginning and like nectar at the end, which is arising from the serene state of Atma knowledge, that happiness is declared as Satwik. Jai Sriman Narayana.
Jai Shriman Narayana. This one, this sloka has the meaning of prasada. So we take prasadam when we go to temple, right? So, I mean, typically, what do you think about prasadam? Just a general question.
Prasadam is
Blessed, a food blessed by God.
Okay, yeah.
we are taking what is left after offering to Bhagavan,
Okay.
acknowledging that everything belongs to him, and we are only enjoying what is left for us by him. So in Karma Yoga also it is said that the one who eats without acknowledging to Paramatma is considered as stealing the food.
Right. Yeah, it is getting sanctified, purified. So it is going to purify us. I mean, what is the meaning of purifying us? That is what is the inner meaning of prasada. What does it mean? Like, does it
I
remove
see,
our
okay.
sin?
Prasadam adhigacchati, got it.
So,
Oh, Atma purification.
how?
Mind, right? Santakarana.
It will
Remember in
eliminate the bad thoughts from us.
So when we, I mean, typically when we don't have all this knowledge, we have to take prasadam, So we go to temple and then we have some desire. Okay, I need to get something, let us say, there's a desire. And in order to satisfy the desire, we think, okay, I need to offer something to God. Right? We take some fruits or something like that. I'm talking about basic, normal, general people who don't have all this knowledge of Atma Jnana and all that, right? I mean, typically when people go to temple, they take something or go to temple or even at home also, like offer something to Paramatma and then take it as prasadam. I mean, this is the thinking that generally, generally people have that. So I had the desire, and when I take the prasadam, I'm getting that kind of blessings from God to satisfy my desire. Right? I mean, that is how normal people, like we go to temple with a desire, and then when we take the prasadam, we think, oh, God gave me something, some kind of an energy, some kind of blessing to make me satisfy the desire, or God is now going to satisfy the desire. Like if we go to temple and let us say we don't take the prasadam and come out, kind of think, oh my God, but my desires are not going to be fulfilled, right? That is totally incorrect understanding. I mean, the prasadam, of course, as you rightly said, it is whatever we offer. So first we have to offer to Paramatma and then take it as prasadam. So take it as prasadam means whatever we offer to Paramatma, we are taking that minus in that. I mean, before when we are saying that I'm cooking for myself and eating, this is mine. I'm cooking for myself and then eating for my satisfaction. So when we offer to Paramatma, that my is removed from that, that whatever we offer, right? So then we take it as prasadam. So that is going to purify us. It is actually going to make us serene, tranquil, calm, undisturbed, peaceful. Okay, our Atma knowledge will be stable, right? I mean, we are going to get the, only when our mind is stable, we are able to, focus, right? We are able to, get the Atma knowledge, or we are able to continue the journey of Atma knowledge without being disturbed. Okay. it has nothing to do with satisfying our desires. So typically we say, oh, I have to offer something to Paramatma, and then when my desire is satisfied, I have to offer again and then take it as prasadam and all that. I mean, that is basically prasadam means the one that is going to make us stable, with stable mind, right? So that we can focus on our Atma knowledge. Like we now we can start focusing on Atma knowledge, right? I mean, focusing on Atma knowledge in a broader sense, we are going to now get the knowledge of Atma, Paramatma, and Prakriti. The three realities. So Tattva Jnana, we are going to get that knowledge, which will take us in the path towards liberation. Okay, so that is what is that food that we are taking is going to make ourselves fit to travel in that path, make us fit to get the Atma knowledge, right? So I mean, just wanted to bring it up because usually prasadam means some food that we offer to Paramatma, and then I take it. We offer something because I have desire, or even if we don't offer, we are taking prasadam from the temple. They prepare the prasadam, offer it to Paramatma. Think that, oh, okay, they offered it to Paramatma. Now all the people who have the desires in a congregation, says they all take that one so that they get whatever desires they have, they get fulfilled, because now God is giving them something. It's not to satisfy our desires. So of course, if our desire is to have the Atma knowledge, that is definitely the one that will be addressed by taking that. So Paramatma is actually giving us that ability to be calm and peaceful. So when we take and so the calm and peaceful, so that we can focus on Atma, we can focus on Paramatma. So unfortunately, it's we don't have that knowledge, and then we think, okay, prasadam, or eat something for I'm feeling so hungry, I eat it, and then my desires are going to be fulfilled.
It's beautifully explained, Prasad. Thank you so much.
So when
So all these finances, they are aimed at clearing our antakarani, so that we are getting closer and closer to ability to gain Paramatma's knowledge. Yes.
Yeah, all the things that are disturbing us, basically all the vasanas, which are not in our control, they should get subsided. Okay, and so basically our ahankara, right, mind, that is the one that is the top, like that is the basic root cause of every problem. So that has to be removed. That will be removed with the Paramatma's blessings. Okay, that aham, I am the body. That is the root cause of all problems, right? So that is one of them. So basically, it will take out all these things that are disturbing us in our journey towards Atma realization.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And any questions on this one? So the happiness, Satwik happiness, is the one that is coming from the Atma knowledge. Okay, so something that we need to remember.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
So in the beginning, it says happiness, which is like poison at the beginning. So does it mean we always have happiness? And then without that Atma knowledge, it stays as poison. And then only when you get the Atma knowledge, then it becomes nectar. So does it mean like we have, what's the meaning of the poison?
Yeah, so basically when we start, when we are starting in the journey towards Atma knowledge, right? You know, so there are some activities that we do. Anything is like when I feel happy, right? In order for me to feel happy, I'm doing something, some activity, something is occurring, some event is occurring. So when I try to do that activity with Atma knowledge, right? You know, um, I have difficulty in applying that, right? Because my senses are going all over the place. So it feels like poison. I'm, like I want to do it, but I'm not able to do it, right? I'm not getting that. My Atma knowledge is being applied there, right? So I have difficulty in controlling my senses, um, right? But once we start applying, once we start practicing this, Atma knowledge, I am able to, become better and better. Say abhyasat ramate. So once I start practicing, okay, then my Atma knowledge becomes stable. I'll be able to control my senses. I'll be able to, um, you know, uh, experience that self-realization. Say, I know it's very difficult. So it is very easy. I mean, when we look at the Rajasic happiness, it is very easy where, I want to enjoy certain, like, let us say tasty food. As soon as I eat, I feel happy, right? But how about the Atman, the knowledge, the happiness that comes because of self-realization? Is it so easy, like eating just whatever is on the table, eat and then enjoy? No, right? So someone who wants to, have the self-realization or God realization, they will be going through hardship, because it is not that easy, isn't it? So, for example, we want to do, have self-realization. Let us say you want to meditate, okay? Our mind starts going all over the place. We are not able to focus. Okay, I want to, chant Bhagavad Gita for 3 hours. Let us say, so my senses are not in my control. I feel hungry. I'm feeling sleepy. So all these are, causing, me trouble, right? Towards the journey towards getting that happiness. So it feels like poison in the beginning, but when the result comes, that is, when the result is Atma realization or God realization, when it comes, it is permanent. Once you get that state, it is permanent and it is unlimited. So it is like nectar. You will not come back again. Okay, but in case of Rajasic happiness, which is happiness that we get through experiencing our senses, sensory pleasures, you feel the immediate happiness, but as you progress, it becomes like poison, right? We went through a few scenarios, how it feels like poison, and right, for Rajasic happiness. We'll look at that one. So initially, when I am doing any activity towards Atma realization, or using Atma knowledge, I want to perform the activities. I'm not able to do it. It's not easy for me. So I feel the pain. I feel it's like very hard for me. It's like poison. And poison doesn't mean that I'm going to be killed. It's not like that. But it is hard. It's something that I don't want to. Like, if somebody says, just Ekadasi we have to do, let us say, okay, Ekadasi Vratam, like we should not eat for 12 hours, let us say, anything. It's not, it feels like poison, right? Or because I'm I'm having hunger, all that, it troubles me. So basically we this happiness is poison in the beginning, or very hard, we face hardships, but in the end we feel the unlimited, never-ending bliss, right? Once you have the self-realization or God realization, it is going to be permanent.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure. So yeah, it is very difficult to, basically once we start going in this direction, it feels like, for example, attending this session itself, satsang, we are probably, let us say somebody says, oh, let us go for this party or a movie or some, get together. We feel like we are missing out on that one, right? Like we are, it is very difficult to proceed in this direction. So it is that pain that we go through in the beginning. But once we get this knowledge, we feel that happiness. I mean, I'm just giving some examples to say why it is poison in the beginning and feels like nectar in the end. But in reality, like when we go through this journey, of Atma knowledge, Atma self-realization, initially we cannot control ourselves. We try our best, but still, it is trouble for us. But once we go through that journey, as we apply, as we become better and better, we will be able to get that happiness, which is permanent. So that happiness is Satwik happiness. Okay. Okay, 38.
Yeah, I can go ahead and.
Sure.
Jai Sriman Narayana, chapter 18, sloka 38. Vishayendriya samyoga yattadagre mrutopamam pariname vishameva tatsaha tatsukham rajasamskritam.
Yeah, tatsukham rajasam smritam.
Tatsukham rajasamskritam.
Yep.
Jai Sriman Narayana, chapter 18, sloka 38 summary. Lord Krishna said, happiness, which is like nectar at the beginning, due to the contact of sense objects with senses, which is like poison at the end, that happiness is remembered as Rajasic happiness. Jai Sriman Narayana.
Jai Sriman Narayana. As we discussed last week, right? I mean, typically the word happiness, whatever we have defined in our life, whatever we are experiencing, it's all, Rajasic happiness, and to some extent Tamasic happiness. That's why it was difficult to understand that Satwik happiness, right? So Rajasic happiness is derived from the sensory pleasures, sense objects. Okay. So, I mean, all happiness, if you don't have the Atma knowledge, concept of Atma, we are Atma, if you don't have the goal of self-realization, Atma, God realization, that's that's possible only if we have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and our scriptures, right? So typically, it is all the happiness that we know of is only this Rajasic happiness, and as I said, to some extent, Tamasic happiness. So always we are looking to satisfy our senses. Okay, so I mean, this one is easy to understand, but what we are learning here is that this happiness that we know of, okay, is actually Rajasic happiness, which is dependent on the our sensory pleasures. So sensory pleasures will initially they'll feel like great. I mean, it's like nectar in the beginning. Okay, and as we progress in that direction, it feels like poison. So we went through those examples, right? So if I like eating something, eating sweet, initially we start eating, we feel very happy, but if we keep eating, we feel full, and even after that, if we start eating, then I will say I'm sorry, and then we start feeling the pain, right? So that is not only that is an immediate thing. But let us say I'm eating sweets so much over a long run, then it may turn into some sickness in the body, right? So that happiness, which I got initially, that looks great. I mean, it's like nectar, but over a period of time, it becomes poison. Okay, so this is not something that we want. And then once we feel that happiness, it looks great. I mean, it feels great when we are feeling it, but when we are separating from it, it is so painful. Then it feels like pain. So like meeting someone we want to meet and feel happy at that moment, but when we are not able to do that, it feels like poison. So everything that is related to our senses, feels great in the beginning, pain in the end. Senses cannot be fully satisfied. Like once we start feeling, let's say, I want, $1,000 so that I can buy, something, right? Once I buy it, I won't be satisfied with it. I want more, right? So initially it feels great, but once we get used to it, it becomes ordinary. Then we want more, something better, right? So whatever we felt like great in the beginning, we start feeling pain after some time. I should have had better things. So we look for more, to satisfy our senses again. And then, let's say we are eating, a meal with 3 curries. Initially nothing. Then somebody gives 3 curries. Oh, looks great. But once you start eating 3 curries every day, it becomes ordinary. No, I want something which has 10 curries. I want to taste all kinds of food. Something like that. That's why even rich people are not happy. Because for them, it becomes normal for them. But a poor person will think, oh, let me be rich, then I'll become happy. But you ask a rich person, they say, oh, what is great in it? And they will look for something else, or they look for better. So sensory pleasures leave us guilt and fear. So once we experience it, it feels great. But if it is something that we should not be engaging in, for various reasons, then we feel the guilt, right? Or for example, we need to study for a test, simple example for kids, and then instead they play a video game. Oh, it feels great when they're playing the video game. But as soon as the video game is over, 2 hours, instead of spending time on the study, they're playing, and they will start feeling the pain. Oh, I shouldn't have spent 2 hours. I lost 2 hours, right? Then another thing is fear. Like if somebody does something immoral or illegal thing, trying to satisfy their senses, then they fear of either getting caught or facing whatever, because they know that they acquired some sins. Now they are going to be troubled later in this life or in the future lives, right? So all these things, the sensory pleasures which give us happiness in the beginning, they become pain in the end. Whereas Atma Jnanam, if we focus on Atma Jnanam and do the activities with Atma Jnanam, we are missing out on all these things. We are missing out on all the sensory pleasures. So we feel the pain, right? We are not able to apply the knowledge as we wish because our senses are not in our control. Then we feel the pain. But once we start practicing it on a day-to-day basis, right, then we start feeling the happiness. A simple example is yoga, right? Initially, when we do the yoga, it feels pain. I mean, our body starts hurting. Okay. So, but if we start doing on a day, every day, we get the benefit out of it. So it is nectar in the end. So, I mean, that is again an example which is related to our body and mind. If we are just doing it as a as an exercise, but if we are using it to develop ourselves in Atma knowledge, yes, I mean, we'll go further. So yeah, that is sattvic happiness, and anything that is related to sensory pleasures is rajasic happiness.
So Varaprasad Garu, so can we say this sattvic happiness is a kind of mean because we learned that Paramatma is the ultimate happiness, right? So can we say this practicing sattvic happiness is a means to attain that happiness? Because see, you gave that example, right? Ekadasi, Upavasam. See, I basically do Ekadasi because it's said in scriptures, and I don't see any other desire on it. Okay, by doing Upavasam, I'll go to God or anything like that. And also, okay, get up in the morning, early in the morning. So it's said in the morning. So it's in the scriptures, I do. So the happiness, what I'm getting is the satisfaction that I'm following the scripture. Is it what sattvic happiness that I'm gaining? Like you said, getting up early is a pain.
I mean, what you feel in the end, okay, is permanent happiness. Okay, I mean, of course, you're able to do it properly as per the scriptures. At that moment, yes, you are feeling happy. That is also there. But as you continue to practice, right, we will reach a state which is permanent happiness. That is liberation, right? So now what you felt is, I mean, just to answer, short answer is yes, that is sattvic happiness. It is coming from your Atma knowledge, right? Then it is sattvic happiness. See, that which is coming from your Atma knowledge. You are doing something, some activity with Atma knowledge towards gaining self-realization or God realization, that the whatever activity that you do, it feels like poison in the beginning, because again, taking that example, it is very hard to do the Ekadasi Upavasa in the beginning, or even when you complete also that whole day, right? If you are focused on your hunger and all that, thinking about eating something and you are not able to eat, that is fear, having the pain, or you're feeling hungry, so the body itself, not mind but body also is reacting, that giving you a little bit pain, that I'm of course once you start doing it, it will not pain, but initially, right, initially you have that pain to start with, but when you finish it, as you, let's say at the end of the Ekadasi,
Yeah,
you feel that happiness,
that satisfaction that
yes,
I did.
that satisfaction, that is Satwik happiness.
Okay.
Whatever happiness you feel based on Atma knowledge.
Mhm.
So the based on Atma knowledge means you are applying your Atma knowledge and towards going towards self-realization, God realization.
Mhm.
That is that happiness is Satwik happiness.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, in Yoga Sutras also it is said, and a yogi considers and he knows that any pleasure that you enjoy this world is actually a pain. So of course here pleasure refers to material pleasure. It doesn't matter, even eating food, it is so in the extreme realization, yogi enjoys everything with the awareness that it actually leads to eventually pain only.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's exactly Rajasic happiness. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is so great that it made things very clear for us, right?
Yes.
I mean, it is now defining what is that happiness that we need to be focused on, right? So and it, we are now understanding that happiness that is based on sensory pleasures is temporary in nature and pain in the end. So and Satwik happiness that is based on Atma knowledge is painful in the beginning, and it's permanent, unlimited happiness in the end. The real happiness, that is the real happiness, right? I mean, so for example, if I I go on a vacation for a day and then I really enjoy, and then I come back and then feel the pain. Okay, I want to be there, I want to be there for more time, I should have enjoyed more. That's all pain only, right? So we remember the pain more than the happiness. So the event actually gave us pain. So it is not real happiness that we faced. It was only temporary in nature, but we forget that and then we feel the pain in the end.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
So what is Satwik happiness, right? Because I think we are trying to define. What I'm understanding is, I think it's easy to maybe understand what is Rajasic. So what is, you might have covered it, sorry, in previous shlokas before, but how do you know that you are getting Satwik happiness, right? How can we know ourselves that, whatever I did, and again, right, the confusion is between knowing what we're saying. So we are saying some of the things are Rajasic, I think food and sensory pleasures. So even like if you're happy, if you're thinking about God, that is also in the senses, right? So how are you differentiating, or how can I differentiate?
Mhm.
Like if I ever got Satwik, like how do I know?
So basically, the two answers to it. One is we reach a state where we will be permanently happy. Okay, so that is one, right? Like we reach a state where we are not going to take birth again and again in this samsara and face all kinds of pains, difficulties that we go through. No matter what birth we take, right? It is always filled with troubles, pains. So that is the permanent happiness. The bliss that we say is permanent happiness, unlimited, never-ending happiness. Okay, so that is one, right? But we cannot feel that right now. We can only, read in our scriptures, because we cannot, like if somebody says there is a 1 million suns rising at the same time. Okay, you can only imagine. You know what is one sun rising at in our life, but 1 million suns rising at the same time, how do we even know that, right? So that that light, we will not be able to feel it right now. We can only imagine. So that is one happiness, right? Now the to get there, we need to um, do all our activities using Atma Jnanam. Okay, right? You agree so far? I mean, I know you're joining today, but
Yes,
there is
yes.
like we went through it's like a journey. So we need to have any activity that we do, we need to do with the Atma Jnanam only, right? When we do it that way, we feel whatever happiness that we get is Sattvic happiness, not the ones that are related to our sensory pleasures and the mind. Okay, the sensory pleasures and the mind that is experiencing the external world through our body. It is not body related. It is Atma related, Atma Jnanam. So again, it is difficult to explain. For example, attending this session itself, whatever happiness that you gain, that yes, I got this knowledge, I'll be able to apply it in my future life. That satisfaction, that happiness you get has nothing to do with your senses, right? That's nothing to do with your mind that is processing your senses. Okay, and it has nothing to do with sleep, laziness that we are going to learn about. So it is that coming from that knowledge of Atma. Okay, so that happiness that is generated, which is born of Atma knowledge, that I am able to perform this activity as service to God for His pleasure. Okay, then whatever satisfaction, happiness that I get is Sattvic happiness.
So, Prasad, in other words, is it correct to say that so Satwik by nature, let's say in one way to explain Satwik is Satvikata or Satwik is knowledge, Rajas is action, and Tamas is what you call inaction. Or so, for example, let's say if we have to really the pleasure that we are deriving, if it is coming out of the knowledge of Paramatma, or like you said, the pure self, so there is no rajas involved there. In other words, to know Paramatma, it is not that we have to do something. Versus, in case of Rajasic happiness, what happens is, in general, we have to take some action.
Right.
It doesn't come just out of knowledge. For example, let's say you want to eat some food. You have to either make it, or you have to prepare it, buy it, or bring it, all those things.
Yeah, sorry, Balaji, I joined a little late, but I wanted to add, like, we could also think like Nishkama Karma is also Satwik happiness, right? Like you help out others. Any action that is taken for not selfish desires, that should bring
Right.
also Satwik happiness. Like if you
Correct.
volunteer to help somewhere, you definitely feel a certain level of satisfaction or inner joy, right? So that could be
Yes.
treated as Satwik.
Yeah, technically in that case, Shri, is it correct to say there is no action involved? Even
Right.
the moment
Exactly.
we make it as actually, yeah, correct.
Any action with the yajna bhava that if we do, like dedicated to
Yes.
God and service, which is not you're doing for selfish desire, should give you Satwik happiness.
Yes, very true. Thank you.
Yeah, but again, so the ultimate goal is to come out of all three avastha, right? Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Yeah, doing the good deeds is good, but again, even if you're volunteering, let's say I'm spending my time in the homeless shelter serving food, right? Again, coming out of it, the unattached self of me is something. Then I'm outside of all three actions. Even Satwik, right? So I'm unattached. I'm walking out with zero expectation, and then just Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavanti. I served food, I'm done with this activity, and then move on, right? Not think about anything too much. So that's when you're Satwik, but you're walking out unattached. So that's how you get the enlightenment, is what I heard from one of my Swamijis.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the Nishkama Karma goal is to purify your mind, right? And ultimate thing is anyways, the knowledge. So definitely the Nishkama Karma will give Satvik happiness, but definitely that is just to purify the mind, just to get the right knowledge and assimilate it.
Right. I mean, we do the Nishkama Karma because we have the Atma knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So it is coming, we can't expect a person who doesn't know Atma to do a Nishkama Karma, right? So it is coming from Atma knowledge. Anything that happiness that comes from Atma knowledge is Satvik happiness. Okay, that is, Lord Krishna has very clearly said anything that is which is arising from the Atma knowledge, that when you are able to apply the Atma knowledge and do any activity and you feel satisfied, that feeling that you get, that is the Satvik happiness.
Yeah, Varaprasad Garu, but actually, like in our community, like there is one colleague or like my friend, close friend of mine, like he doesn't actually, he's like more of not into religious or anything at all, but as a person, he's such a helpful guy. Like he stands first in the community to help the entire community and do everything without any this thing. He's so nice in nature as well, like the way he talks and everything, but he's not into all this, like like he doesn't even like he comes to Chinmaya mission, but he doesn't go inside and all that, right? Like, so he does like that, but when it comes to actions, he's really helpful and he's a very nice guy. So I don't know how, like, if we can, how do we see the actions that such persons are doing? They're really helpful for community. They're helping out without any their interest.
Yeah,
maybe they are doing.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
That leads us to what we have in Bhagavad Gita, that we will not be able to explain such activities by people who don't have any of this knowledge, but they're able to do it, right? How are they able to do it? Is because of their Purva Janma Vasanas.
Right.
They're carried across. So yeah, he might not even realize that, but he is able to do it because of the birth he took, and also because of the community he is in, right? He's able to do it because he's engaging with you, right? So because of the community, and that is also because of on the Purvajanma karmas, vasanas that he's carrying. So yeah, I mean, he is already on the path towards getting this knowledge. So if he wants to, he can, it will be easy for him to get this knowledge. But there are other people, right? You know, they are carrying so much baggage with them. Even if you make them sit in a Bhagavad Gita class, they won't feel like getting the knowledge. They won't, even if they have the knowledge, they cannot apply it. So that's that's another part of it. But there are some people who are able to apply this knowledge, even though actively they have not learned in this life.
Yeah.
But it is carried with them. So people, yeah, it's a very good point. So it is not necessary that somebody would have to really learn this knowledge in this life. It is carried across. That's why whatever we are learning now, it is going to be carried across, and will put us in a path towards self-realization with no doubt.
But sir, like is he not, see, I have seen people like that, what Sri Garu mentioned, right? I don't believe in God, but I do good things. They must be doing very good service to community and all that. They don't want to read Gita, they don't say believe in all these things, but they do good things. They are very good people, noble people. But what we learn is in every moment of our life, we need to acknowledge God, right? So if he's missing that, what is his journey? Like, I mean, he's no doubt because of the Purva Janma Sukritam, and he's in good thing, he's doing good deeds. But like he comes to temple, but he doesn't go inside because he doesn't believe in that is supreme power or anything. But he does good things. So
I mean,
maybe Manav Sevaye Madhav Seva.
we will actually,
I know, but
we will we'll go through that today as time permits. It is given in our Bhagavad Gita itself. Lord Krishna mentioned about it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
discussed actually these things earlier also. Like,
Yeah.
I think I remember we discussed, we thought like, even though some people are doing without knowing this is a knowledge, Atma Ghanam, but I don't know why they don't believe in supreme power.
See, Ushnagar, in general, what happens is, I have seen people like that, right? So it is an extreme rarity that without this knowledge, people actually mentally can do two things. One is being Satwik, and the second thing is, like Sri Garu said, the ability to do Karma Yoga. I know one person who is dedicating his entire life to solve sugar problem, right? He won't take any money, nothing. But when he talks, his talk is full of ego, criticizing others. You see what I'm saying? So we are not getting into his personal attributes here. But the point here is, the moment you start doing that, in spite of all the voluntary work you are doing, it doesn't mean that you are marching towards liberation.
Yeah,
You're actually going in the opposite. That is the missing link here.
So, I mean, it is like we can see somebody, doing things bits and pieces, but there is no solid foundation. So it may crumble any moment. Right. But once you have this knowledge, it provides a solid foundation. Okay, so we understand, oh, this is why we need to do it this way, and this is how I need to do it. This is the reason why this everything is happening in this world like this. So we are able to get that knowledge in a comprehensive way. We have this. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of qualities that are mentioned here are general good qualities that are available everywhere. I mean, it's like you should do good to other people, right? You should not steal. You should not hurt anybody. I mean, not hurting anyone is not like I have to learn Bhagavad Gita for that.
Mhm.
So it is. There are so many qualities that a lot of people will have the idea, but the foundation, right? The basic foundation will be missing if they don't go through this. And why we are doing it is like becomes clarity for them. Like I may be doing a volunteer work, okay, but why I should be doing the voluntary work and how I should be doing it, how I should be doing it, not like, okay, I'm making sandwiches, let us say. It's not how to make the sandwiches, not the thing, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
the bhava,
The way to-
what
yeah.
bhava I need to do. So somebody who is working in making the sandwiches, you see them working, but
Mechanically.
the bhava may be missing, that we don't see, right?
Exactly.
So if we know what bhava, with what bhava I need to make this, then that is what is we are going to learn in Bhagavad Gita, right? Why we need to have the bhava, what bhava we need to have, or what thinking, how we need to do it. Then that is going to lead to permanent happiness, right? I mean, somebody who is coming to do the volunteer work may be thinking that I need to do this one so that I will get a for example, students, they need to do the volunteering because they will get a certificate and they can apply for colleges, right? So that is a bhava which they may be doing perfectly. They will be doing perfectly also. I mean, they are interested in doing it. They will be doing perfectly. But the bhava inside is that I will get a certificate and I will apply for good college, right? And then what happens is, just in case, I'm just giving an example, right? So what happens if they didn't get certificate, or certificate is in a paper, or that certificate, they work 200 hours, over 3 years, and then they apply to a college and college rejected it, saying that, oh, we don't recognize this voluntary work. They will be sad. Oh, I wasted my time. So we won't see it when they're actually working, right? Then we will feel absolutely fine, they're great. But when they actually have the result in the end, that result is going to be painful for them if it doesn't meet their expectations, if they are working with some expectations. So again, we went through all that, what is Satwik worker, Rajasic worker, and Tamasic worker. Satwik worker is Phalakankshi. So that Phalakankshi is not like what you can see at that moment. It's within their mind, right? So Rajasic worker. So Satwik worker is Aphalakankshi. Like they are doing it without having expectations on the results. And why is because, we'll learn about Atma and Paramatma and all that. So that is a basic foundation with which we do it. And when I do that activity and I get the happiness because I'm able to serve the community as service to God, that is Sattvic happiness. If I'm having certain expectations in that mind and then get the happiness, right? That is Rajasic happiness.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the Rajasic work I did. Okay. So if you might remember in the 18th chapter itself, what is the Sattvic work, Rajasic work, and Tamasic work? Well, who is a Sattvic worker, Rajasic worker, and Tamasic worker? All that is explained, right? So worker means not like a having physical attributes. When I'm with what attitude I'm working. So that is the definition. So if my attitude is aphalakankshi and with as a service to God, if I'm doing with my Atma knowledge, then I'm a Sattvic worker. The happiness that I get out of it is Sattvic happiness. With phalakankshi, as a phalakankshi, as a person who is expecting results, I am working. Then it is Rajasic, and I get some happiness out of it. It is Rajasic happiness. So That's why, I mean, anything to do with our senses, like now when when somebody gets a result and that result makes them happy, that is Rajasic by definition. So unfortunately, that's all the definitions we have for happiness. The process need to make us happy. That is Sattvic happiness. Okay. If the result is making happy, then I am dependent on the result being according to my expectations. Then it is Rajasic happiness. If the process is making happy, I am able to do it as service to God. I'm doing it because it is my duty, because it is an activity that pleases Paramatma. I'm doing it, and the fact that I'm able to do it is giving me happiness. We can feel that happiness. That is Sattvic happiness.
So basically, whether Rajasic or a Sattvic, I mean, the question that Vikasji asked, I think almost similar to what I asked, I feel. In Sattvic happiness, right? Even my question was like that. Where do I see? Like, for example, in Rajasic, for example, there is a sweet gulab jamun. When I eat, I immediately feel that happiness. Okay, sweet. It makes me so happy. There also it's experience. And even Sattvic, right? For example, fasting whole day is like kind of pain. Like, you are starving, but you want to, by will you doing it. And end of the day, the satisfaction. So it's all experience. I think what Vikasji is asking, how do you know that we are gaining happiness? I feel that's what my question also, because it's only satisfaction or experience that we have. End of the day, whatever we did,
right.
Even getting up or following scriptures, that's just satisfaction itself is a happiness, I feel.
So, I mean, if you love somebody and then you are able to serve that person, don't you feel happy? You feel happy, right? There's no, they're not giving you money, they're not doing anything in return, but you are feeling that. All of us face that kind of happiness. You can imagine, right? Like, so when we are doing that as a materialistic thing, right? I am serving a particular person or an organization, and I define, like, when I am serving that person or an organization, I am going to feel happy, right? Because that was my desire. My desire is to serve that person or organization or entity or whatever it is, or myself. Like, I'm able to, like, decorate my body. Okay. Nobody is paying me anything, right? But you feel happy, right? I'm able to do something for myself, my body, let us say. So so imagine that same happiness is when you are doing the activity as service to God. That is Sattvic happiness. If the happiness is like person X or something, some entity that is material in nature, okay, without thinking Paramatma behind it, without thinking that I'm able to serve because Paramatma gave me ability. Okay, so let us say we love someone and I'm able to serve that person. Okay, just because I served that person, I feel that happiness. That is still Rajasic happiness, right? But if I serve that person as service to God, with the understanding that God provided me the ability to even serve that person, okay, as service to God, that happiness that we get is Sattvic happiness. And I mean, like, the happiness, like, increases multifold if you have that. I mean, once you start going through this journey, okay, when you feel that you are able to serve Paramatma, that happiness will have no bounds while living itself. I'm not talking about taking liberation, and that is like we cannot even imagine now. But we can feel that I am able to do this activity, I'll feel happy. One simple example is we work in a project. The project is not that successful, let us say. We spent 3 months, worked so hard, and in the end, the result was, probably not what we were expecting. Then you feel the pain. But if we delink our happiness from the result, we link it to the fact that we are able to do that work itself. We are feeling happy every second of our life. I mean, how many of us, for example, just imagine, how many of us felt happiness because we lived today? Right? I mean, simple example. I didn't do anything since morning today. Okay. But if I have, God realization, self-realization, I'll be feeling happy now itself that Paramatma, how great you are. I'm able to survive because of you. And that actually gives us happiness, right? You don't need any external event. See, all these Rajasic and Tamasic happiness, they depend on some external event to occur, right? Satwik happiness does not require any external event. It is within us, which is continuous. Okay, so every second is can be filled with happiness, and no matter what happens with the result, that happiness will not be taken away from me, right? I'll still, the fact that I did the project is just service to God. Whatever happened in the end is not going to put me in any good mode, bad mode, right? Because the result is again, I'm not expecting a particular result while doing it. So why would the result affect me, right? But what I'm experiencing it is that when I'm doing the work itself, I'm feeling Paramatma. Okay, so that is going to like increase our happiness multifold, right? I mean, you are cooking food, let us say. While cooking itself, you are thinking, I'm doing this as a service to Paramatma, as an offering to Paramatma. I'm going to feed Paramatma in me. Then it doesn't, whether it is what kind of taste it is and all that, it's not going to really matter for us. Okay. Of course, our body will feel it. It's not that we will become so robotic, but our happiness will not be disturbed by it. That only comes from the Atma knowledge. Like I am Atma. This is my body. Atma and body are supported by Paramatma. I cannot, everything is happening in this body, and I'm able to, Atma is able to stay in this body because of Paramatma. Now, every second I'm feeling Paramatma.
Sir, I have a question, and I hope I'm not taking the conversation backwards. I just felt as you were talking, a realization maybe to actually feel even the need for Satwik happiness, or the importance of Satwik happiness. Is it true that we all need to experience the failure of just Rajasic happiness? Like, when you ask the question, how many of us felt happy that we are alive today, right? So I never used to think like that, but last year, with the pandemic happening, things happening to people, and as you realize, and I got worried about myself for something which turned out to be not true. And I'm not kidding, right? The amount of prayer, or amount of connection with God, like, again, you start thinking about it, and then you realize that being alive, right, every morning, every night, right, being able to spend the day, being able to talk to people, feel the love, I think that emerges after a setback, or after
Yeah.
realizing that like whatever you just said, right? That
Yeah, that is true.
that
I mean,
rajasicness of the thing, like you don't know when you're living it, but when you end up with a situation where you think, then you realize that anything you do with rajasic mode or tamasic mode, that's not going to take you further. And what is the most powerful thing is the feeling that you're in the presence of God, and you've lived a day that you're part of God, right? Every cell in you is connected, and you feel different things. So I was just thinking, right, that by just saying, and I'm reading the page that you're sharing, right? If anybody reads it without, and I'm not saying the need, but without having felt the failure of the other way,
yeah.
this doesn't connect, right? I mean, we can read and we can listen as much as you want. So my question is, right, how do we, without having to fail with the other ways, how difficult it is to feel?
It is very difficult. So that is why we need to have blessings of our Acharya and Paramatma. If we, with our own efforts, we will not move towards this, right? So something that some external force has put us in this direction. So don't ever think, we should not think that, oh, I am so great that now I started learning Bhagavad Gita. So we will become to, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will tell us that even to come to this, we required the blessings of Paramatma. Okay. So it is not with our own efforts that we are able to make a change in our life. Okay. So whatever may be the reason, it could be that we faced some difficulty, that's why we came into this, or we had blessings from, it could be something like we have GR Ashramam on Day Road. So somebody was traveling on that road for like 3 years. They saw the board every day, but they never came inside. So for no reason, one day that person came into that small street and then saw the ashram, and then he was able to meet Sri Swamiji, and he started getting involved in this, and then started gaining this knowledge. Now we don't know why he took the turn and all that. So it is some reason why we came into this. It could be that we face a difficulty, and we because of the difficulty we have now understood that, oh no, this is not good, we should change our course. And but that difficulty is also, we have to think that it is not that I chose that decision. I took the decision to move from bad to good. I'm just cutting it short. But so it is that difficulty was probably, learning for me that God has given to me. I'm so fortunate with it. So we start seeing everything in a different way. Once we have this knowledge, we start seeing everything in a different way. We don't see that, oh, God is punishing me and all that. I'm not able to get this. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Till there are so many people, if you try to give this knowledge directly, they won't understand the need for it. They won't understand it. That's why only those who have surrendered to Paramatma will be able to understand it thoroughly, and they will be able to do that, even surrender, because of Paramatma's blessings. So we should never be that's the reason why, even though this knowledge is widely available, not many people try to get it. Even after getting it, we are not able to apply it that easily. Absolutely right.
Thank you.
Yeah. we hope that we don't get into any troubles in ourselves and then change it. We are seeking Paramatma's blessings to give us this knowledge, put us in the right direction with whatever way he feels it right. If he wants us to give troubles and then put us in this right direction, it's fine. If he wants us to give directly, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, the very good point. I mean, we don't realize unless we actually feel the pain.
But it need not be completely failure of other happiness, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Gita says not to stay in Rajasic all the time. Yeah, okay, eating something is good. You do, but it's not like, stay on that only, to get that happiness. Can we say that complete failure of, unless, you stop doing that?
And if you are, I mean, it's again, like Lord Krishna himself mentioned, like out of millions of people, one person will try to get this knowledge. Out of millions who try to get this knowledge, one person may be successful. That sloka is there, right?
He gave that, yeah.
So it is, we are so fortunate that with Acharya's blessings, we are able to get this knowledge. And, fortunate to have all of you in the satsang, who are giving me this opportunity to, go through this knowledge. Yeah, so again, it is Acharya's blessings and Paramatma's blessings that are giving us. No matter how much failures we have, we still won't be realizing Paramatma and, oh, I need to make a change. I need to read Bhagavad Gita. It is a lot of people even don't get that, but there, like out of millions, there will be one who will suddenly get it, right?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Okay, so 39. Sloka 39.
I can chant.
Sure.
Yadhagre chuna bhande. Sorry. Yadhagre chanu bandhe cha sukham mohanamatmanaha nidralasya pramadhotam tattamasamudhavrutam.
Tattamasamudahrutam. Yeah. Okay.
Jai Sriman Narayana, chapter 18, shloka 39, summary. Lord Krishna said, happiness, which at the beginning and at the end causes delusion to oneself, which arises from sleep, laziness, and heedlessness, that happiness is declared as tamasic. Do you want me to read the
No, that's it. It's very simple. So it is arising from sleep, laziness, and lack of attention or negligence, not doing our duties, doing something which is not our duty. All that is, any happiness that we feel is tamasic happiness. I mean, we all can relate to it very easily. Tamasic happiness. Okay. Sloka 40. Who will chant Sloka 40?
Yeah, I can go ahead, sir, if nobody's.
Sure. Yeah, please.
Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Sloka 40. Na tadasti prudivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jairmuktam yadhe bisyati tribirghunaihi.
Okay.
Jai Srimanarayana, chapter 18, sloka 40 summary. Lord Krishna said, no being exists either on the earth or among the devatas in heaven, which is freed by these three gunas, qualities, born of the Prakriti, nature. Jai Srimanarayana.
Jai Srimanarayana. So we quickly went through this last week. Any questions on this one? So, I mean, this is where, this is sloka where Lord Krishna is summarizing. So he explained about Satwik, Rajasic, Tamasic, knowledge, work, determination, happiness. And even before that, he explained about the Shraddha, and then food. So all categorizations of Satwik, Rajasic, Tamasic, right? I mean, out of that, so, and then finally happiness. So we go backwards from happiness. So we all want happiness. That's our goal. Then what kind of happiness we want? If we ask anybody, it is happiness in the end. We don't want happiness now and then pain in the end, right? So we want permanent happiness. So that is Satwik happiness. In order to have Satwik happiness, where does it come from? Satwik happiness comes from practice of Atma knowledge. We went through that sloka. Then we need to, what kind of intellect we need to have, right? And what kind of determination that we need to have. That was explained. So in order to pursue this, you need to have the intellect, buddhi, right? And you need to have determination to practice it, pursue it. Like just having Atma knowledge is not going to help, right? So we need to be determined to practice it. We need to pursue it. Okay, we need to have the will to use the Atma knowledge to experience Atma, Paramatma, in spite of difficulties. That is determination. And that determination is based on the Satwik intellect. Intellect is buddhi. No, I'm able to judgment, right? Judgment ability is intellect. So I have clarity. Oh, this is Satwik, this is Rajasic, this is Tamasic. I need to choose the Satwik. That is intellect. So, and then he explained about Satwik intellect. And then we do activities, for a happiness. I mean, whether we want to be happy or not, we have to do activities. We all work. So what kind of worker we need to be? He explained how do we do the work and what knowledge we need to have in order to support that work. So those are all explained. And then with what spirit or bhava we must do the activities, tyaga. I forgot, he explained about Satwik, Rajasic, Tamasic, tyaga also. So then what kind of activities that we need to do in order to, purify ourselves, right? So explained about yajna, dana and tapas. What is Satwik yajna, Rajasic yajna, Tamasic yajna, all those are explained. The three categories of yajna, tapas and dana are explained. So in all of them, we need to focus on the Satwik part, right? We need to do Satwik yajna, we need to do Satwik tapas, we need to do Satwik dhanam, we need to have Satwik tyaga, we need to have Satwik knowledge, we need to do the Satwik work, and we need to be a Satwik worker. And we need to have Satwik determination, we need to have Satwik buddhi, intellect. Then we get Satwik happiness. And in order for us to do any work, we need to eat something. So what kind of food we need to eat? There's Satwik, Rajasic, Tamasic. Satwik food supports us in doing Satwik activities, right? Whatever food that we take is what going to, like what will determine us how we are going to behave, right? Because if somebody drinks alcohol, they cannot be active, for example. So what kind of food we need to do? So Satwik food, he explained, Lord Krishna, and then we do Satwik Yajna, Tapas Dana, and then how we need to do it, all that is there. And then what is the foundation for us? I mean, basic thing that is what is identifying us, defining us. That is a conviction. What is the conviction with which we are doing? That is also defined. That is the basic foundation for us. So the basic foundation is the conviction, and the end result that we see is happiness. Or you can go backwards. I want this happiness, Sattvic happiness. Then all the Sattvic things I need to learn and practice. And we'll learn that, okay, this is the basic conviction that we need to have, Sattvic conviction. Okay, so then based on all this, now Lord Krishna explained all this. Now we obviously want Sattvic happiness, right? So somebody wants Rajasic happiness, they can choose Rajasic path. But Sattvic happiness is the one that will take us upwards. We can go upwards. So if we know this, that
no, sir, conviction and belief, are they not the same? Or
yeah, they are same.
Krishna saying, okay, conviction is coming from the intellect, and you're telling your mind to believe and then devote. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much logic, but I'm just trying to understand the difference between conviction and belief.
No, there's no difference, the same word.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a Shraddha, conviction with belief. I mean, somebody who doesn't believe in God, right? Then the whole thing falls down. So yes, they may be doing the activities here and there, some activities, but it's all like they're all interlinked, right? Okay, so yeah, so we need to choose a Sattvic path. And so based on all these slokas that are given here, we can, learn and then take the corresponding actions. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions on this? It's a simple thing. So no one is free from these three gunas. So all of us are impacted by these or affected by these three gunas. So it is not like I am born in a particular way, so I'm always Sattvic or Rajasic or Tamasic. No, it is we are all affected by all three at every moment. Of course, entire 14th chapter will end for these three gunas. Explain more there. Okay. We'll start 41, sloka 41 onwards today. I'll start with the prayer. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu. Krishnam Namasyamyaham. Krishnena Marasitravo Vinihataha. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishnadeva Samuthitam Jagadidam. Krishnasya Dasosmyaham. Krishne Tisthati Sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Sri Narayana. Okay, 41. Please chant. Brahmana Kshatriya Visam
Brahmana Kshatriya Visham
Sudranam cha parantapa
Shudranam cha parantapa
Karmani pravibhaktani
Karmani pravibhaktani
Swabhava prabhavair gunaihi.
Swabhava prabhavair gunaihi.
Let's chant together.
Brahmana Kshatriya Visham
Sudranam
Shudranam cha parantapa
Karmani
Karmani
pravibhaktani
pravibhaktani
Swabhava
Swabhava
prabhavair
prabhavair gunaihi.
So when Lord Krishna, this is like 5,000 years back, approximately 5,000 years back, right? So the society at the time, is definitely divided into these 4 categories: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, and Sudra, right? So Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and Dronacharya is a Brahmana, and so basically, like, it is very well defined. All these classes are very well defined, and Lord Krishna is explaining, after explaining about all the qualities, right? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas qualities. Lord Krishna is explaining that so Brahmana Kshatriya Visam Sudranam, so of Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaisya and Sudras, Karmani. So the works of all these categories of people or classes of people, okay, Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. Pravibhaktani, so they are assigned. So they are distinctly assigned. So they are very clearly assigned. There's no confusion, right? So they are distinctly assigned. Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. So assigned based on their inherent nature. So Swabhava is inherent nature. So from the inherent nature, Prabhavaihi, so the Prabhavaihi Gunaihi, this is the third vibhakti. So with the qualities arising from their inherent nature, works, Karmani, Brahmana Kshatriya Visham, works of Brahmana Kshatriya Visham, Pravibhaktani, they are distinctly assigned. Okay, so basically whatever is assigned, the duties are assigned based on their inherent nature. Okay, and the inherent nature, basically it is the qualities that are coming, from their inherent nature, their swabhava. Okay, so we learned that when Jivatma is released from the body while Sattva quality is dominant, it is born among those who have the highest knowledge, Atma Jnana. Then one continues to perform the duties supported by the Sattva quality and eventually realizes the truth about the self. So Lord Krishna explained what what happens when a Jivatma is released while they have the Sattva qualities dominant at that moment, right? I mean, at that moment, like, nobody will be totally Rajasic and Tamasic and then suddenly become Satwik, just a second before they die. People, we don't even know when we are going to die. But even if we know, then whatever we have been carrying is going to dominate. So it is, what it means is that when we gradually develop, like our sattva quality is dominant over a period of time, and then at the time when it is being released from the body, when if the sattva quality is dominant, then then we take another birth where we can continue the journey of gaining the Atma knowledge, right? So we know what is Satwik knowledge. The knowledge of Atma is called Satwik knowledge. So in the previous slokas came. So they are able to take birth in that family or society, or in that environment where they can continue the journey of Atma knowledge. If the Jivatma is released from the body while Rajas quality is dominant, it is born among those who work with attachment for the sake of fruits. In 14th chapter, 15th sloka, Lord Krishna mentioned this. So basically, they'll continue the journey of experiencing the materialistic, pleasures. They want more and more possessions. They get happiness because of that. They'll, they'll work with attachment for the sake of a specific result which makes them happy. They will define, oh, this result will make me happy, and they'll work towards it with attachment to the work that they're doing. And when they get the result, they check, oh, did it make me, did the result meet my expectations? Then feel happy or sad based on that. So that is Rajasic quality. So when the Rajasic quality is dominant, they will again take birth in a body which is going to continue the journey of Rajasic nature. Okay. And then, again, the same, I think it is, 15th sloka, he talked about tamasic quality. Again, when somebody has tamasic quality, tamasic dominant quality, then they are going to be born among those who lack intelligence. They are ignorant. Okay. So again, they will continue the journey of ignorance. So they will carry the vasanas and riches. I hope you got a chance to go through this, when I sent it. So when we take birth, we are carrying. So our birth is based on the gunas from the previous life, right? And whatever we were doing, the karmas, they create vasanas and ruchis. So they create some karmic records, right? So there are out of those entire set of karmic records, some are active for us in this life, some are dormant. The active karmic records are called ruchis, that we call them as taste. Okay, taste or ruchis. That is like, they are active records which we can experience it immediately. It's like a tip of the iceberg. Okay, and the other karmic records, are vasanas. They are dormant instincts, and they're like under the water. We don't see them, experience them, but they are there. They will come up when time comes, when it is, when they are invoked, right? They are dormant, but they can come up. So based on this, so that defines our inherent nature, right? So one inherent nature is the quality that we are carrying that gave us a birth in a particular society or family. So that creates a basis for us. So the second is the journey based on, if I was Satwik dominant person in my previous life, I continue the journey of Satwik. Okay. Suddenly I don't go back to Rajasic or Tamasic. So that inherent nature is carried forward. I have all these vasanas and riches carried with me. So that whole thing defines my inherent nature. So that based on that inherent nature, okay, my duties are assigned. in this particular life. Okay, so if that is what it is saying in this sloka. So the duties or works of all the people in these 4 categories are assigned, distinctly assigned, based on their qualities. It is not like some random. Okay, so imagine if I really like to play, right? You ask me to do PhD in some theoretical physics. Will I get it? No, right? There's it will be miserable for me. But if I like to play, then if I am put in a place where I can, in some form or the other, I'm going to participate in that game. Okay, either as a player or a supporting a role or whatever it is, I'll be naturally motivated to do the work, right? And so that is what happens. That is why these 4 categories of people are there in the society, and that is how people take birth in these 4 categories of people. The birth is based on their gunas and the vasanas and riches, and those will generate some kind of the either sattva, rajas, or tamas, right? The qualities that they have affinity towards. Okay, it's not like they will stay with it forever. They have the affinity towards it, or they have some kind of a tendency towards it, one of these qualities, and based on that qualities the work is assigned.
Sir, is there any other word for ruchi? I never heard that word. Vasana I heard, ruchi I never heard in this similar context.
It is vasanas and riches.
Oh,
so these are
go together.
Yeah, they go together. So they're basically tendencies.
Okay.
For no reason you like sweets. Why?
Ah.
I don't know if you like sweets or not.
Oh yes, I am dreaming about laddu.
Okay. Just kidding. So somebody likes hard food. I'm just giving, what we experience normally. For no reason, I always want to be good. Going towards Satwik. As Srigar explained, like somebody is doing all these Satwik activities without even having this knowledge. Without even knowing that we are doing Satwik. Like, it's not like I have to learn all this entire thing, then only I'll start doing. No. Somebody from day from the time they know of, they are very arrogant, aggressive, and they're always causing trouble to others, harming others. So there's a tendency that they carry. It's not like somebody taught them to do it. Okay, so that's a tendency they carry.
Okay.
So difference between vasanas and riches is like something that you are experiencing, and you can see that, oh, I have this within me, I can experience it. But you can, let's say you have never imagined certain experience, right? And then you face it, then you either like it or don't like it. So that moment it came up, it's a vasana. Okay. Right? So it's dormant. You didn't know that it existed within you. Okay, but when you faced the situation, then it came up. Right? It's like when the water goes down, the iceberg, you can see, rising up. So some event should occur for you to experience it. That is why it is dormant. Riches is like always there with you.
They're active ones. Okay,
thank you, sir. Active. The tendency is already active for you. So we'll learn the qualities of, the works that are assigned to these 4 categories of people. I mean, it is little bit, we need to really understand why Lord Krishna is explaining about this, right? People can use this to say that, you know, they have divided the society into these 4 categories so that one category can rule over the other. One category can suppress the other or oppress others category. You know, it is something that is bad for the society. That is how it has been published in the last few hundred years. Okay, but that is not. I mean, as I explained in the text later in the later slokas, we'll go through that. It is not meant to suppress anybody, right? So we'll see why, and I know why it is, and it is so eye-opening. I mean, whoever somebody asked, saying that, oh, you know, what are all these categories? You know, do I have to do only this one if I'm born like this? And so those questions come to us, and all that is very clearly explained by Lord Krishna, and with Acharya's blessings, we understand the inner meanings of it, and you know, we can see, you know, that it is not what others are saying. This is the real knowledge that we need to have. If you have any questions, you can ask while we are going through this. Okay, so 42. This is the categorization that is given here is very, I mean, we see so many people who ever want to criticize, right? They will use this as a basis for criticizing. They say that this is Hindu religion, and Hindu religion is dividing people like this, and you know, that's why it is not good, and it's nothing to do with religion. There's nothing to do with Hindu word Hindu, and it is not that it is done with any negative intention. It is not that this will cause any negative reactions or negative results in the society. Okay, so we will see all that. Samodamastapasaucham
Samodamastapasaucham
kshantirarjavameva cha
Kshantirajyavameva cha
jnanam vijnanamastikyam
Jnanam vijnanamastikyam
Brahmam karma swabhavajam.
Brahmam karma swabhavajam.
Let's chant together. Samodama
Samodamastapasaucham Kshantirajyavameva cha Jnanam vijnanamastikyam Brahmam karma swabhavajam.
So Lord Krishna is explaining about the works or the duties that are assigned to Brahmana. Okay, so he lists, I mean, this is a list of practices for Brahmana's practices that are born from their inherent nature or innate disposition, their tendency. Okay, so what are all the tendencies of a Brahmana? Okay, Samaha, control of external sense organs, so control of our senses. Damaha is restraint of the mind, which is the internal sense organ. Mind is the sixth organ, sense organ. There are 5 senses, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and manas. So total 11 senses. So samaha and damaha is controlling of all those senses, moving the mind. So damaha is controlling the mind or restraint of the mind. Mind to do what? Controlling to experience the senses? No. Controlling or restraining it to move it away from the things harmful for the self. Okay. So anything that is harmful for us, we are moving it away from it. So that is damaha. So Brahmanas have control on senses. Tapaha is austerity, disciplining the body by restricting enjoyments as prescribed in scripture. So whatever restrictions that need to be applied, so we know them, and we discipline the body to restrict those enjoyments. So, or we discipline the body not to go into that those enjoyments. Okay, that is tapaha. Saucham is the purity, fit to carry out the prescribed duties. So we, Brahmanas make their body fit, mind fit to do whatever activities are prescribed for them. Shantihi is forgiveness. Okay, retain mental composure even while being injured by others or when provoked by others. Retain mental composure when nothing is happening is great. I mean, almost everybody can do it. They'll say, oh, I can do it. But when they're being provoked by others, okay, verbally or physically, or even while being injured by others, again, verbally, physically, still retaining the mental composure and forgiveness. So basically, forgiving, I mean, it's not to encourage them to do those activities, but maintaining that mental composure. That is the kshanti. Okay. Arjavam is uprightness, integrity, rectitude. All these are synonyms. Basically, aligning external conduct with internal thoughts and feelings. Arjavam. Okay, so whatever we are learning, so I learn something, my internal thought says, do this, and then I'm able to do my, based on that thought. Okay, so my external conduct is based on my internal thoughts. Okay, internal thought may say, hey, don't lose your control. But if I don't have arjava, then I'll lose control and then start shouting or hitting the other person. So this is aligning the external and internal. Okay, that is arjava. Jnanam is the knowledge of Atma being distinct from the body. Okay, so the Atma is Chit and the body is Achit. Body is made of material nature. So we are able to differentiate between Atma and our body. And Jnanam is having the knowledge of God, Ishvara. So basically knowledge of superior and inferior truth. So the God is superior, then Atma, and then nature. So that is the knowledge that we have. These people have. And Vijnanam. Vijnanam is knowledge of distinctive and unique attributes of Supreme Lord. So God is superior compared to all. God has infinite auspicious attributes. He has no evil or negative attributes. So, Lord Krishna is giving us the supreme knowledge. So that is, so all these, okay. Oh, then we also have Ninth is astikyam, is firm conviction, unshaken faith in the truth of everything enjoined in the Vedas. So everything that is given in the Vedas or prescribed in the Vedas, we have full faith, unshaken faith in the truth that is given in the Vedas, in the scriptures. Okay, so what are some of them? Like again, a few of them are mentioned, that Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord, he's also denoted by the terms Bhagavan, Paramatma, Parabrahma, Paranjyoti. So we are recognizing Supreme Lord. He is free from all negative qualities. Okay, we know them as Nirguna, right? And then he has countless number of auspicious qualities. Okay, he is the one to be known by the Vedas and Vedanta. So these are like the Bhagavad Gita sloka numbers. So for reference, but these are there in Vedas. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is a summary or summary of our Vedic scriptures knowledge, right? So Supreme Lord is the one to be known by the Vedas and Vedanta. He is alone. He alone is the sole cause of this universe. He is the supporter of this universe. He alone is the cause of all activities in this universe. Everything runs on his command. All actions enjoined in the scriptures are different forms of his worship. He bestows the results of all actions in the form of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, I mean, some of so basically whatever knowledge that is given in the Vedas, we have unshaken faith in them. That is like when good things happen to us, we believe in God. When bad things happen to us, then they say, God, you don't exist. If you existed, then it wouldn't have happened. I don't believe in you anymore. So though that is shaken, like faith is shaken, right? But we have full faith, firm conviction, unshaken faith in Paramatma, and all the knowledge about Paramatma, Vijnanam, right? So he's the superior. In what way he's superior? How he's supporting and controlling and administering everything. He's able to provide the results to us. I mean, we learned a lot about Paramatma in the previous chapters. So all these qualities and the practices based on those qualities belong to Brahmana. Okay, so Brahmana's practices are assigned based on these inner qualities.
Sir, I have a question.
Sure.
So the Brahmana in this context, is it the person who is born Brahmana or anybody? Because I was still struggling with the shloka 41 a little bit.
Okay.
If we say it is tied to, the birth, right? And I'm not completely arguing. I know it used to happen at that time. And, the belief that the caste you're born in, right? I understand that if you're born in that, your circumstances might already be conducive, right? If you're born in certain caste and if you're born Brahmana, I'm not born Brahmana. So the people who are born Brahmana, right? If their families were already following it, it is just that easy for them to follow that path, right?
Yeah.
Versus, so I think it's just that the surrounding or the environment, or it's easy to go in that direction.
Yeah.
But I don't feel very comfortable saying being born in there, right? In that profession or that area is the right way to think that, that's who should be guided by. So that's what I was thinking when you're saying about Brahmana, right? So all of a sudden, it's like you're we shouldn't exclude everybody else who's not called a Brahmana, right? So is it by birth or is it by practice?
So, I mean, these are the duties that are practices that are assigned to a Brahmana. Okay. You got it? Sorry.
Yeah, but what if there is a Brahmin who doesn't want to follow these practices and wants to follow the other practice? Is there anything wrong in that?
Okay, so that's why I said it is very important for us to understand. Good question. So Brahmana, when we have Satwik nature, Satwik dominant nature. Okay. Now I am. Let us say we are all now we are learning Bhagavad Gita. We are following the Atma knowledge path, Satwik path. There's no guarantee that we get moksha, right? So we are doing Nishkama Karma and everything that we need to do to be in the direction of liberation. Okay. Now, again, none of it is just an opinion. It is what is there in Bhagavad Gita and previous chapters and also here. So let us go through that. So now if I am not able to get the liberation, I take another birth, right? Now imagine I spent say 100 years trying to be Satwik, okay? Develop all this knowledge. I'm a Satwik dominant person. I take a birth where it is totally tamasic, let us say. All the effort that I put in is a waste, isn't it? So Lord Krishna has clearly mentioned that if you are following the Karma Yoga, you follow the path, you will take a next birth where you will not start from the bottom again. You will start from where you left in the previous birth. Okay. So I'm Satwik, I'm going on a Satwik path. Okay. Karma Yoga is the practice, right? That is supported by the Jnana, Satwik or Atma Jnana and Satwik Guna. So my Satwik Guna is supporting that. So I'm going to take birth in a family where I need to have that same Guna, that is a tendency for me. And I need to have the environment which is conducive for me to continue in that path. Then only I can go in that path. So Lord Krishna is guaranteeing us, he's the creator. He's telling us this knowledge that when you have Satwik dominant quality, you will take birth in a family where you can continue the journey. You will continue to have Satwik dominant quality. I mean, it could be family, it could be environment, the environment where you can continue. Okay, same with Rajasic and Tamasic. Okay, so now, so far good, right? So when after taking birth, I am going to be affected by all three gunas again. Nothing is stopping me from doing whatever I want, right? It is not guaranteed that I will be Satwik. If I take birth in a Tamasic family, it doesn't mean that I will continue to be Tamasic only. But my environment is like that. It is difficult for me to move from Tamasic to Rajasic to Satwik because people won't support me, right? I mean, if I want to, like, let us say, if the environment for us around us is tamasic in nature, I want to study Bhagavad Gita. They will not let me study Bhagavad Gita. They will not let me practice Nishkama Karma. They will, I mean, they'll say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So which will make it difficult for me to go upwards. But it doesn't mean that we don't have a choice. All this knowledge that we are gaining is going to give us the opportunity to move upwards. One who has Satwik knowledge, Satwik quality as inherent nature, for them it is easy for them to move in the Satwik direction because it is built over so many generations. One who is born as tamasic, with the tamasic quality supporting them, tamasic tendencies, it is very difficult for them to move towards Satwik, even though the knowledge is available, right? So their tendency would be to, eat whatever and drink whatever, and or the families also say, oh, why don't you drink? And friends will say, why do you want to do this? Why don't you drink this? Why don't you take drugs? For those that is the situation they will face. However, they can still go upwards. When we took birth, nobody forced us to start learning Bhagavad Gita. We took a choice, right? We had an intention. I want to learn Bhagavad Gita. That intention is fulfilled by Paramatma. Not because of my intention I am able to do it, just because of that. But Paramatma, God blessed me that I can take this path, gave me the ability, Acharya blessed me to give this knowledge, so I'm able to go in this direction. But that intention is mine, right? So the choice is mine. So once we know that I have a choice to make, I can go in any direction. I have a choice to take Rajasic path, I have a choice to take Tamasic path, or I can continue to be in Satwik. So one who is born as a Brahmana can choose Rajasic or Tamasic. One who is born as a Tamasic can choose Rajasic or Satwik. So it is not like punishment for somebody. It is where one. So these activities are again like when I have a there's an example also. See, I want to join a company, right? When I apply for a job, do I apply for any kind of job in the company? Any role? Like, there are so many hundreds of departments, but there's, let's say, take management is one type of role or department, human resources, and then you have sales and marketing, and you have, say, programmer. All 4 jobs are there. Which one do you want to apply? Whatever you're comfortable with, wherever your skills are, right? Wherever your tendencies are. I'm going to be, I have a tendency to do well in this because my qualities, my abilities are in this particular. So then I will apply for that. If I simply, join any role, like I have a tendency towards, say, sales, then I apply for a job which is programming, I'll really hate it. Okay, I can, first of all, they may not give, right? It is, so I'll fail in the interview. But even if they give, just because it is paying a little bit more, if I take it, I'll not be able to work on it. So that is the materialistic example where we have certain qualities and we are joining a particular role. Now, so as a programmer, I join, let us say. It doesn't mean that I have, I cannot, gain more knowledge and then move upwards. I may find, oh, sales, oh, this is what it is. Then I will start learning, I will start growing in that direction. If I like it, I'm able to move in that direction. But till I go into that sales role, I have to do my job, whatever is assigned to me, which is what I'm capable of at this moment, which is programming. So that is where the difference is. It's not like, oh, just because I joined as a programmer now, I'm cursed with this. No. This is my current role, my current capability, my current tendency to like whatever my inner quality. So I am put in this particular role. Now, the world is open for us. Now we are affected by all 3 gunas. We have a choice to make. I can move any direction I want. I can, in the case of the work example, I can I can become a manager if I like it. But I have to develop the skills needed to become a manager, or I can go into sales where I need to develop those skills. So same way here, I can become Rajasik, or I can become Satwik.
Sir, I am almost reading this as not based on birth. Right? So even the way it's been explained, I completely don't read it as based on birth at all.
That is, sorry, this is Sri here. I think because the direct answer was given already in the chapter 4, right? Like, I think you are very right. It is not by birth, but Krishna already said that Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhaga. So basically, it is based on your gunas and your karmas. What your varna is. Like, if your tendencies and if your actions are more leaded towards tamasic way, then you are not you just because you're born in Brahmin family or not, you will not still not be a Brahmin. So that varna system was explained already in the chapter 4, so that clearly he calls it out that it is not by birth.
Okay, thank you very much.
So I mean, basically, again, there's a small difference in the interpretation, but it's okay. So it is not that one who is born in a particular family, okay, any other caste, doesn't mean that they should not learn Bhagavad Gita. They should not practice what is in Bhagavad Gita. Never says that, right? So it is. It becomes difficult for somebody who has vasanas which are not Satwik in nature, right?
Yeah.
So if I have Satwik tendencies, Satwik inherent nature, then it becomes easy for me to continue in the journey. Okay. So, but it doesn't mean that it will force me to do those things. I still have a choice. Same with Rajasik and same with Tamasic. It is not random. I mean, if you are thinking that anybody can be born in any family by random, that's not correct. I mean, that's because it is based on what we have done, what qualities we have developed. We are going to take birth in an environment which is going to be conducive for us. If it is random in nature, then we could be put in a place which is totally tamas. Like if I'm going in the Nishkama Karma path and Karma Yoga, if I'm put in another birth, which is totally tamasic in nature, then it will become, I'll go downwards. So Lord Krishna had clearly said that once you are in the Karma Yoga path, you will continue in that. So once you are in Satwik path, you will continue in that. I mean, you can go back and check these slokas, 14, chapter 14 and 15 again. So we discussed a lot at that time. But basically, what we need to realize is that for most of the for most practical thing, fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, these divisions have gone. There's no clear demarcation now, right? Because people are not following. So because of the Kali Yuga and all the reasons, nobody seems to follow the scriptures. We don't understand the scriptures ourselves. Very few are even following this. But don't worry about that. I mean, it's not that if I took birth in this family, now am I not eligible for these things? Don't worry about it. And at the same time, if I'm, this is what, like if I'm born as a Brahmana or Kshatriya, doesn't mean that I can rule over others. This is the purpose of these divisions are not to define somebody is higher, define somebody is lower. It is to define the duties to these sets of people based on what their inherent nature is. Okay, we'll go through and we'll understand more and have a few more examples. 43. Sauryam tejo dhrutis, sorry. Sauryam tejo dhrutir dakshyam.
Sauryam tejo dhritirdakshyam
Yuddhe chapya palayanam.
yuddhe
Palayanam.
Danamishvara bhavascha.
Danamishvara
Bhavascha.
Kshatram karma svabhavajam.
Kshatram karma svabhavajam.
Let's chant together. Sauryam
Tejo
Dhritirdakshyam
Yuddhe
Palayanam
Danamishvara Bhavascha.
Kshatram karma svabhavajam.
So, what are the practices of Kshatriya based on their inherent nature? Okay, so Sauryam, capacity to enter combat without fear. Tejaha, capacity to overcome enemies. Dhrutihi, capacity to complete a task despite obstacles or difficulties. Dakshyam, having skills to do any work. Yuddhe apalayanam, not retreating from the war or battlefield, even when own death is certain. Even when the death is inevitable, certain, they will not retreat from the battlefield. Danam, donating own property. Okay. Ishvara bhavaha is leadership, capacity to punish bad and reward good people, control or rule over others. So these are the practices of Kshatriya based on their inherent nature. Okay, these are what were assigned. So Arjuna, who is born as a Kshatriya, it is his duty. He's assigned a duty that he need to, he cannot retrieve from the battlefield, even when death is certain, right? So this is a duty. I mean, he's forgetting his duty when he was saying, no, I don't want to fight here, right? That is one example. So we need to do our duties. Again, it will come later, in the later slokas. We need to perform our duties, whether we like it or not. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna's duty was to fight and basically punish bad in the society, punish bad people. So he should have been doing that, and instead he was, he was saying that no, I don't want to, I don't want to participate in the war, and I want to go back, and I want to live on alms. I want to beg and live. That is better than participating in this war. So it's very clear that these are the duties or works or practices of a Kshatriya, and these are distinct, right? There's no common from between this and the Brahmana class. So these are the kind of duties that are assigned. Now, if a Brahmana was participating in the war, And if he was willing to run away, maybe then you could say, oh, this is not something that is assigned to them, so it's fine. But as a Kshatriya, Arjuna cannot run away from the duty of fighting in the battlefield and punishing the bad people. Okay, so one more thing I just want to highlight is that Dhanam is one of the works that we need to do. There are three types, right? Yajna, Dana, and Tapas, that we have to perform. All of us have to perform these three. Now, Dhanam is assigned to Kshatriya as a duty. Okay, doesn't mean that other people should not do Dhanam. They have to do it, but Dhanam comes naturally for them. It's based on their inherent nature. This is assigned to them. Okay, so again, it says that Dhriti is also, people have to have Satwik Dhriti, Rajasic Dhriti, Tamasic Dhriti. We have all these categorizations. We need to have the Dhriti, Satwik Dhriti, when we are, practicing our Satwik works, And so, but this is something that is assigned to Kshatriya as a duty for them, right? Now there is and I think unfortunately we'll be running over time. Let us see if I can finish 44 also. So anyone who is, one thing I just want to clarify. These are the duties that are assigned to a Brahmana. These are the duties that are assigned to a Kshatriya. Okay. But they can decide to do it or not do it. If they don't do it, they're not following the duty. Okay. So for example, if Arjuna decided not to perform his duty, they have a choice. It's not like they will die if they just forget their duty or don't do their duty. Okay. But they are going to acquire the karmic bondage for not doing their duty. Now, that is what is assigned to them. They cannot run away from it. Okay. So when a duty is assigned to somebody, we have to do that duty. Okay, whether we like it or not. People have a choice to make. As a Brahmana, they can decide not to do any of these things. Then they're not performing their duty. Okay.
So if I'm born as Brahmana, right? And then I want to do Homa or Satyanarayana Puja. So I'm calling one more Brahmana to perform instead of me performing directly, right? So what does that mean then? Am I not performing my duty as Brahmana?
No, you're performing.
But I'm borrowing some other Brahmana to come to perform my Satyanarayana Puja, right? Instead, if I'm born...
Right. It is not like a doctor can, do operation on himself, right? Doctor is given a certificate that he can do a heart surgery. He can do by himself. So yeah, when you want to get married, for example, you can't marry by yourself, with chanting the slokas by yourself. So yeah, you may be, but you have the duty of yes, you can do the Satyanarayana Puja or any of the activities as a priest activities that you can do, right, for others. But when it is not possible to do it on yourself, then you'll call another priest. Okay, so there is one. Unfortunately, we may be running over time, but so there is a big misconception that is clarified in Bhagavad Gita, which is not that easy to see outside. Like first and foremost thing is that we need to accept this knowledge. It is not something that somebody just wrote it, just they thought about it as their opinion. No, this is not an opinion. This is the knowledge that is given to us by Lord Krishna himself. Okay. However, we need to understand the inner meaning of it also. Okay, and that also Lord Krishna provided. But what happens is that that part is forgotten. That part is not, not looked at. Just looking at this and say that, oh my God, I don't accept it, right? I mean, that is where the problem is. We need to see the whole thing, whole picture, right? I mean, and then we'll understand what is happening here. What is the true knowledge? Otherwise, it becomes like, oh, I don't accept it. See, today I'm born as a, let us say, let's say someone is born and facing a lot of difficulties in their life. Okay. Now, the straight answer from Bhagavad Gita is that it is their experiencing their karmic bondage, right? Straight, simple answer. Now, if I say, I don't accept it, right? Now I hate God. Somebody says God gave you this birth. Now he'll say, God decided that I need to take this birth. So now I should start hating, God. So that comes from lack of knowledge, proper knowledge, right? So yes, God is the one who is creating us now, but God does not create us randomly. He's not making it, it's again given in previous chapter. So he is giving the birth that is based on our gunas and karmas, right? So it is not random, and God does not make mistake. Okay, so if I am facing a difficulty this time, that means I have a karmic bondage to experience that. So it is not something that God somehow forced me into this position, or God was biased. So he gave somebody $1 million, but now he's not giving me any money. I'm poor, and this guy is rich, even though he's not doing anything. He's always enjoying, even though I'm doing a lot of stuff, I'm not enjoying. So I mean, we need to understand the whole picture, like. And that's why Lord Krishna is revising this knowledge again and again in different aspects. In 4th chapter, he gave one way, and then in the same knowledge he's presenting in a detailed way again. So we need to understand, accept, and understand, surrender to Paramatma to give us the right meaning, right knowledge, and then we'll really understand the meaning. So one thing, because we don't have time today, we need to understand that being born as a Brahmana does not mean they have a shortcut to achieve liberation. That is a major misconception that people have. So one person A is born as a Brahmana, B is born as a Kshatriya, C is born as a Vaishya, and D is Sudra, right? Of course, after maybe a few hundred years, people even forget which category they belong to, and that is only there in few parts of India now, and nowhere in the world. Doesn't mean that God is not creating people here. People are being created here also, but they don't know that what their inherent character is, and all of it's becoming totally mixed. But let us say, even if we knew that we were born in a particular family who are following particular traditions, just being born as a Brahmana does not guarantee liberation, any more than somebody who is born in Kshatriya, any more than somebody born in the Vaishya. Sudra, unfortunately, if they are put in, because of their inherent nature of tamas, being so dominant. Tamas means what? They don't accept scriptures, they don't follow God, and they have done so many, and they are put in a birth which is like very difficult for them to think of anything related to Rajasic or Satwik. So they will continue to be tamasic. So they will have very hard time thinking of liberation. It's like, I don't even have one meal to eat a day. Now how can I think of having 3 days three times a day meals with a lot of curries, right? You cannot do that. So those keeping them aside, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, they all have equal opportunity to liberation. So just because a Brahmana is doing a puja, okay, and Kshatriya or a Vaishya is not able to do puja, they cannot assume that, oh, I don't have, Kshatriya and Vaishya cannot assume I don't have choice for liberation. All that is explained in the next slokas. I will come to that. So all three have equal opportunity. Whatever they are doing here is just the duty. Okay. So sama, dhamma, tapa, saucham, shanti, arjavam, jnana, vijnana, all that is the practices that are assigned to a Brahmana. Now, imagine somebody is born as a Brahmana and not following any of this. They are not doing their duties properly, right? So they are going downwards. Okay. Someone who is born as a Kshatriya is able to practice these things, they are going upwards. Now, someone who is born as a Kshatriya cannot forget his duty, basic duty, but he can always go upwards. Someone who is born as a Brahmana can go downwards. Okay. Now, whatever they are doing as a, this is a major misconception that people have, is that, oh, you are born as a, someone who cannot do the puja in a temple. Okay. And the priest or pujari in the temple is not letting you do the puja or participate in the puja directly. What good is that religion for you? You cannot achieve moksha. That's absolutely untrue. Everyone has equal opportunity to achieve moksha. A pujari or a priest who is doing the puja on a daily basis, Kshatriya who is doing the, protecting the country, for example, or ruling over the country, prime minister, any ruling roles, or a Vaishya who is doing business and all that, or a Sudra who is, nowadays we don't have this classification, but all of us, who we kind of belonging to, we are doing our duties, just a service, right? Service activities. Now, if we are not doing any priestly activities or ruling activities and doing the business, we are all doing service activities. All of us have equal opportunity to reach Paramatma. Okay, so it is not that only the person who is doing the puja, only the one who is born as a Brahmana who can do the puja, because that is what the duty that is assigned to them. They are somehow, they can get the moksha, but I'm not. Okay, so there is something, that misconception that people create, saying that, oh, I don't accept it, that, yeah, I don't accept that a Brahmana should do these things. I cannot do it. Why would I want to do the activity if I have the, if let's say by following only as a Brahmana, I can reach God. Yes, I want to do it, right? But doing what I do, programming, I can reach Paramatma. Then why do I want to do these things? I don't have to feel jealous that I'm not taking birth in that, in that caste or in that class. I could be doing any of my duties, okay, which is not Brahmana duty, but still I can, I'm having the equal opportunity to reach Paramatma. That's what the Lord Krishna will say later. Okay. So then why do I have to think that, oh my God, I don't, this Lord Krishna is dividing all these things, and then he's saying that these are the only people who can do this, then I'm somehow at a disadvantage. No. We will go through those slokas, but any questions? I mean, lot of misconception again, is that, oh, now we have Brahmana and everybody else is cannot do these things. No, I want to be Brahmana, or I should be claimed as Brahmana because I'm going to do these activities. Or if you don't let me do these things, then I will change my religion. I mean, a lot of people are doing that. I mean, they are either not accepting the religion. I mean, this is not religion. This is our Vedic culture. So either not accepting it completely, or they are enticed. They are somehow attracted by other people saying that, oh, now you can go into the temple and then do the puja yourself. Okay. I mean, by doing that puja or not doing the puja, there is no difference. If the people don't know why that person is doing the puja and what makes that person fit to do the puja, and if I am not fit enough to do the puja, I will actually not be getting any benefit of doing the puja. Okay, but people don't know. They only see the outside character, outside activity, and then say, oh, somehow is great. The person who is doing that thing will think they're great, and other people will feel that, oh, I'm not good enough for this. We should not feel that way at all. Lord Krishna is going to say later that all three have equal opportunity. You just have to do the duty. The tamasic means those who are born as tamas completely, have tamasic tendencies, they do not have the opportunity to, they will have more difficulty. So for them also a duty is given to serve, serve others so that they can move upwards. But, for them it is difficult, very difficult. But all other three, it's just the duty that was assigned. You don't have to feel that, oh, I didn't take birth, somebody punished me with this. What is my mistake in this? Or can I become a Brahmana? Can I become a Kshatriya? Can I become this? And, there's no need. Any questions? I'm sorry, it took over time. That's why Lord Krishna, when he is explaining about all the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all these things, he never mentioned anything about caste or,
Varnasrama.
Yeah, well, of course, Varna has two different meanings. Varna, is, Deva Manushya Tiryak Sthavara is one categorization. He's birth to all. He is the one who is creating everything in this universe. That is one categorization. And even in Manushya category, we have these four Varnas. So he never mentioned that, Brahmana doing Karma Yoga is the one who is going to get it, right? Did he say that? No. But he's clearly mentioning these are the duties of a Brahman. These are the duties of a Kshatriya. You are supposed to follow them. So he's reminding those. But now the problem is that somebody who is born in America, for example, they don't know what caste, what class of people they belong to, right? So it's, based on just the definition and not having any knowledge, and then doing everything that they think is good for them, thinking body is their body and all that, it's all pointing towards tamasic or Sudra kind of category. But there is no category name you can give. You can probably give them Sudra category. Okay, so for them it becomes difficult. But if we still have some way of understanding of Brahmana means people still there are still people who are doing these activities. It is just a duty they are doing. If they don't do that duty, they are going to get karmic bondage. Think about that. How difficult it is to be a Brahmana. Okay. And if I know that I have these duties, my father or mother tells me that these are my duties. If I follow them, I am as good as somebody who is following Kshatriya. I'm as good as somebody who's following the duties of a Vaishya. But if I don't follow them, I'm going downwards. So we should actually feel sorry for these people because it is so difficult. I mean, having Jnanam and Vijnanam and practicing it, practicing tapas, relinquishing all enjoyments. I mean, like what we know of as enjoyments, right? Controlling all their senses. It is actually difficult job. And one who is taking birth in this family, who have been doing this, they are at that stage who can do it. So they can, if they want to, they can continue doing this one. If they don't want to, just like Arjuna wants to run away, then that's fine. I mean, they are going to acquire karmic bondage.
Well, I mean, I don't want to digress and take time, but definitely this is a huge social issue in India, especially, right? With the caste reservations, no matter what, right? The top first rank, right? One of my cousins in NEET exam, right? First rank. But unfortunately, he's not getting the seat in medical college just because of the reservations, right? Because of the caste. And then poor guy, his family income is 70,000 rupees per year, where they're from agriculture background and everything. But just being born as Brahmin is a curse, right? He's not. He cannot afford any other colleges. The government college is not accepting, despite being the top one in the rank, right? But again, I know that he'll not become a doctor now just because he cannot afford. He'll choose some other profession. That doesn't mean that he's running away from the duties just because he's bound to something, right? The societal rules. It is what it is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's why by not understanding, right, this classification. See, any company, as I gave in the example, right? Any company will have these classifications. Why do we have classifications as executive management, HR, sales and marketing, the R&D departments, and then operations? All these are classifications which are needed to run the company in a cohesive way. I mean, in a better way, right? Like everybody can do any job. It becomes so mess, right? So when people are put in a particular role, they understand, oh, this is what my role is. Like if I join a company and I don't know whether I'm going to be a manager, or I'm going to do Java programming, or I'm going to talk to customers, sales, or doing the operations, it will create such a big mess for me, right? I cannot perform like that. Today I'm doing this, tomorrow I do something else. I have no idea what's happening. But that is in a company, right? Now, how do you run a society? Like if you don't have a structure, organization in the society, it becomes so difficult to run the society. And now, so let's say we create the structure. Now, I cannot put somebody who is not capable of a particular role into that role, right? So that's exactly what Lord Krishna is saying, that a person who is having this Satwik tendency, Satwik qualities, who have been practicing this, okay, will be able to become a Brahmana. They will be like by default. For example, someone who is doing a Homa, they have to start 4 o'clock in the morning, don't eat anything, drink anything. Sometimes it'll go on till like evening 4, 5, 6 o'clock, right? Then they have to drink a cup of small glass of water. I mean, other people struggle so much. They will say, sorry, I'm going to resign this job. But these people, they're able to do it because they have the tendency to do it. Other people can't fit in that. Same way with us, say for example, Kshatriya, if you take like, some soldier in the border, like say very high in the mountains, in a lot of winds and snow and everything. How many of us will survive in that role? Can't, no matter how much you pay, right? So someone who has the tendency to withstand that is the one who should be put in that. That's what Lord Krishna is doing. He cannot randomly assign anybody in any role. And that goes against everything that is given in this. Like if it is so random, then why would I be even motivated to follow the Karma Yoga path, right? I mean, if there is no guarantee that I'm going to get moksha in this life, I'll not be motivated to follow any of this, because it will end for me when I leave this body and I have to start over again. But if I know that he's going to take care of me, put me in the same path the next life, it will motivate me for going in that direction, right? And he's guaranteeing that. He's actually telling that there is no guarantee of moksha, but there is a guarantee that you will continue the path. So do the Karma Yoga, you will not start from the beginning again. You will start where you left off. So that is a guarantee that our creator is giving to us. And that cannot happen if it is a random assignment. So, I mean, if somebody who is following Karma Yoga falls in a tamasic place, then the whole thing is gone. It becomes difficult for them to catch up, right? So, yeah. This particular knowledge, I mean, the fact that people are getting discouraged, that they are not able to perform the puja like a priest does, somehow I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not able to do that. That is a problem. That somehow it's misconception. Whatever that priest is doing is just a duty that is assigned to that priest. They have to do it properly according to scriptures. If they don't do it properly according to scriptures, they will be doomed. Okay, so we better not be even thinking that I'm going to become I'll start chanting Vedas and doing all those things because I'm going to go closer to Paramatma that way. No, Lord Krishna is saying you don't have to do that. You do whatever you're doing, whatever is the duty that is natural, based on your natural characteristics, natural tendencies. You do that, you will get moksha. Like Arjuna, for example, why is he asking Arjuna to fight? Okay, if Arjuna is saying that I'm going to do the, get the Jnana Yoga and I'm going to meditate and then I'm going to reach you. Why is he saying that? No, you do your duty, you will still reach me, right? So whatever we are supposed to do, we're supposed to do. We shouldn't think that I'm not able to do that. That is why I'm at a disadvantage. So, I mean, that is explained in the next slokas, but we need to, go between the lines to understand it. Otherwise, it's not that clear. That's why people, so now in the example that you are given, right? Like, so somebody who is born as a Brahmana started thinking that, oh, I'm at a higher, I'm able to do these things. I'm closer to God. So now I can rule over others. Or somebody who is a Kshatriya, who's a ruler, and I can suppress all these people. And then that is how it went on for some time. This was not there a few hundred years ago. This was started only recently because it was put in their minds. Again, because of external influences and because the scriptural knowledge has been taken out. Like if I don't have this knowledge and I suddenly take birth in a Brahmana family, and then I'll think, oh, I'm great. I mean, because I'm doing all these things and others are not able to do it. or I'm born as a king, son of a king, and I'm able to become a king. I don't know what my responsibilities are, and I will just start behaving rude and start ruling over others, punishing others. So then I start going up. So because that's what happened, they wanted to reverse. The government, Indian government, wanted to reverse what happened. So they did the reverse thing. So now, people who are born in Brahmana, Kshatriya, classes, they are at a disadvantage now. They cannot get, it is difficult for them to get good jobs or study well. That is because, again, this lack of understanding, I would say. If we really understand it, we will not have this problem at all. We will not have this, conversions and, religious people not following a religion because they say, oh, you are saying, if I'm not born as a Brahmana, I'm not good enough. I'm not going to accept your religion. So that will not happen. Sorry, we ran over. We'll continue next week. Oh, it's almost 8 o'clock. Thank you for staying back. Again, more than me, I think I appreciate all of you for staying back so long.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, this is very interesting topic, and hopefully we'll get very good clarity. We'll not feel either advantage or disadvantage because we have these classifications. We'll understand it thoroughly. I hope whoever is listening to this, later also will understand thoroughly, and we are all equal. That is the statue of equality that Sri Swamiji is building, inaugurating in between February 2nd and 14th. We are going to learn the concept of equality, and everybody will learn the concept of equality in the eyes of God. Okay, so we'll conclude with the concluding prayer. Kayena vacha manasendriyeva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai Narayanayati samarpayami Srimanarayanayti samarpayami Sarvam Sri Krishna arpanamastu. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Jai Sri Manarayana. Jai Sri Manarayana. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.